stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. I got up a little late today. Getting worried about some of my friends I haven't heard from for a couple days. So, I hope they're doing okay. Good morning. Welcome to Daily Trudge. It is trudging and it is daily. And welcome to it. Been daily for over 4 years now. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And I'll sit down and count how many videos I've done today. Nah. That ain't gonna happen. Today we're talking about spiritual kindergarten. I usually like to get started about 3-minute mark. That tends to let people get in and settle in a little bit. Let Facebook do its thing to let people know I'm live. Well, hello. Long time no see. Hi, Patricia. How are you? And that's Kathleen. I'm presuming it's Kathleen. So if it is not, please correct me, because I've got a few Canucks that listen to me. So actually, outside of the United States, Canada is my biggest listeners. And then you'd be surprised. Australia. And most of my listeners are females between the ages of like 25 to, older. So I tend to attract. That's what I figured, Maylin, and I didn't want to mess it up. So it's good to see you, Maylin. Hope you're doing well. We had to talk on the phone a little bit back, and we had a lot of fun talking. And I have a lot of interesting conversations in my life, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have them. But since we got some people here now, I want to make a little announcement. You may notice that my wife and I have an anniversary today. Today is our anniversary. March 16th is actually a very big deal to my wife and I. Number one, it was the first time that I got sober. My sobriety day was March 16th, 1989. A day that will be embedded in my mind for the rest of my life. I can still feel the feelings of that day. I can still feel the hopelessness, right? And Shannon was my girlfriend at the time. We were high school sweethearts. I didn't go to high school, but I was of that age, right? But I mean, I went to like a quarter of my sophomore year. Other than that, I didn't go to high school. I met people there to go out and party. And Shannon and I would get back together, obviously, about 12 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. 14? Mm-hmm. 14 years ago. Some reason I have 12 stuck in my mind. I don't know why. We've been together 12 years. That's been stuck in my mind. Probably because of the 12 steps. Yeah.
2012.
Yeah. Okay. Because we were married 2012. Yeah. Congrats, don't fuck it up. Thanks. Thanks, man. I'm so glad that I have everybody's support. Oh, thanks. I know that's Maylin. I know it is. So thanks, Maylin, for the confidence. She said she can keep me around for another year, so I'm in the clear right now. All right, I'm okay right now. So you'll never be able to get us apart. So premonitory 12. Oh, okay. Yes. The pre-212. Got it. No more. You're going to confuse me. Let's get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I'm going to be your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. It's already happening. That's for the rewatchers most. What? Oh, she's definitely a keeper, man. Maybe I'll come on this afternoon and tell our story. It's actually very, very, it's kind of emotional. Actually, it's very emotional. We have the kind of relationships you make songs about. That's what I love about us. My wife and I are so much alike. It's in all the right ways. In all the other ways, we're complete opposites. We are. One of our songs was Opposites Attract. Of course, that was when she didn't drink and smoke and she was a good two shoes. Not anymore. No, now she's just a smoker and drinker. Oh, she doesn't drink unless I drink, and I don't drink anymore. So let's get started with this. I'm done messing with my wife. I wanted her to make feel good this morning. So I'm going to start in AA Comes of Age. And I'm going to start on page 163, about halfway down. So, you know what? Let's start with just the first paragraph in As Bill Sees It, so we get a good idea of what we're talking about, right? Because there's two parts in here. I'm going to show this to you right here. See, this part's from a letter. This part's from As AA Comes of Age. So I got two things to work with here. All right. But then it gives me, so there's letters, right? I don't have the letters, but then it tells me AA Comes of Age down here at the bottom. And that's where I start to get my stuff. And I like it because where do you really, who else reads AA Comes of Age? Well, probably Monty, man. He probably does. All right. A spiritual kindergarten. We are only operating a spiritual kindergarten in which people are unable to get over drinking. Okay? So what we're saying is the basic of the basic of the basic, man. I mean, starting from the from the scraps, man, from nothing. Starting from nothing. And find the grace to go on living. It's hard stuff to hear, man. All right? God gave us grace to go on living after that first step. Okay? When you stop fighting, stop it. When I stopped fighting, it all started to go into place for me. I had to give up the hooch, number one. You can't do this with your addiction. You just can't. It doesn't go in. Awesome. As Bill Sees It, I love As Bill Sees It. It leads me to so many other places. And that's what I love about it. It's such a small book, but I use it a lot. I'm about tired of the daily reflection. I just tossed it today. It's so repetitive. Anyway, I understand we need repetitive, but we don't need to talk about third step every day for a month. Come on. All right. Anyway, each man's theology has to be his own quest, his own affair. I'm going to read this again. We're only operating a spiritual kindergarten in which people are unable to get over drinking and find the grace to go on living to better effect. That's it. That's all AA is really providing. The rest is going to be up to us. Okay? We are not theologians either. Well, some of us may be. I'm not. I know that. And then each man's theology has to be his own quest in his own affair. My God is my God. You can't have him. Wouldn't work for you. My God would get you sober. It is so personal. It's personal. And I'm not going to describe my higher power either. I would fall short. Why would I why would I describe my God when I could show it through action on how much I love the fact that he picked me to do this and that I will do it the right way, even if it means getting my toes stepped on every now and again. Okay? Better get used to that. If you're going to do this work, your toes are going to get stepped on. If your toes aren't being stepped on, you're not doing the work. What do you mean? That would be the ninth step. Yeah. Okay. Acronites, like Paul and Dick S., like the new steps very much. Now, remember, we're going back to AA Comes of Age, so this is our history. And I love history. So, as the remainder of the book text developed based on the 12 steps, they continue to report their approval. But in New York, the hot debate about the 12 steps and the book's context was doubled and redoubled. There were conservatives, liberals, and radical viewpoints. Fitz M., the Episcopal, I know that's wrong, minister, son from Maryland, and the second man to recover from Towns Hospital, made constant journeys to New York in order to reinforce the conservative position. Fitz thought that the book ought to be Christian in the doctrinal sense and the doctrinal sense of the word, and that it should say so. He was in favor of using biblical terms and expressions to make clear. Clearly, another early New York AA, Paul K., was even more emphatic about this. Okay? And it makes sense that happened. It does. It happens to this day. I hear people do it all the time. But their whatever church they go to, they insert their stuff in when they're talking. So what? It doesn't bother me. Now, if you come in and start quoting Bible quotes and reading from certain, then I'm going to have a problem. Okay? Because AA is all inclusive. It does not matter your religious background. It does not matter your religious now. I don't care. I don't care what higher power you believe in. You think I give a crap about that? No, I don't. Do I care that you believe in one? Yeah, that I do. That I care about. And I will help you find them, even though they're not even close to mine. So what? Let them have it. No matter how small it is. The liberals were the largest contingent, as they usually are, huh? And they had no objection to the use of the word God throughout the book, but they were dead set against any other theological proposition. How's that for being open-minded? Man, I'm glad I wasn't one of the first 100, man. I am. I'm really glad I wasn't. Like I don't know. That would have been really, really tough for me. Then again, who knows? Who knows? I wasn't in the position, so I can't what if that. They would have nothing to do. Spirituality, yes, but religion, no. Positively, no. Most of our members, they pointed out, believed in some sort of deity. Okay? But when it came to theology, I'm not good with that word. I'm going to have to work on it. We could not possibly agree among ourselves. So how could we write a book that contained any such matter? There was no such thing as a group opinion in these areas, and there never could be. Alcoholics who had tried the missions were forever complaining about this very thing. The alcoholics' unreasoning rebellion against specifically religious approach had severely handicapped the missions. And there was one already out there, wasn't there? And they're still around today, called the Oxford Group. So it's not like they didn't have another option. They had another option. What, AA wasn't the only way back then? No, AA, we stole it. We stole it from the Oxford Group. Come on. And they know we did. Who cares? No one cares. See, even back then, not original ideas. Right? They were thinking of planes and computers and things like that. They just didn't have the resources in order to do it. But as far as how intelligent we are, no. We are not any more intelligent now than they were back then. In fact, our lifespan has gone down. Alcoholics who had tried this mission were forever complaining about this very thing. All right. The liberals said that they did not intend to be critical. They only want to be critical. Okay. They only wanted us to remember the hard facts. These contentions could not be denied. It was true that we could not agree on a religious basis for our fellowship, and that the straight religious approach had worked in relatively few cases. Because let's imagine this. You get into AA and it's Christian based. Now you must believe in a Christian God. No, it won't work. Not in this system. It won't work in this system. Okay. The reason we didn't follow the Oxford Group is because it was too stringent on its religion. Okay. When things are suggested to us, we're more likely to listen. But when they're shoved down our throat, we will turn around and walk away with our middle finger up. Will we not? People telling us what to do. Then come into a room. Yeah, I kind of hear what you guys are saying. Now you're telling me what to do. It won't work, will it? It won't work. Okay, thus the spiritual pitch and the tone of our book was greatly influenced by the liberals. But the atheists and agnostics, our radical left wing, were still there to make tremendously important contributions. Led by my friend Henry and obstinately backed by Jim B., a recently arrived salesman, this contingent proceeded to have its innings. At first, they wanted the word God deleted from the book entirely. Henry had come to believe in some sort of universal power, but Jimmy still flabbergasted us by denouncing God at our meetings. Some members have been so angered that they wanted to throw him out of the group. But most of us thought it better to let him talk on, believing that eventually he would change his mind, which he later did. What Henry, Jimmy, and company wanted was a psychological book which would lure the alcoholic in. Once in, the prospect could take God or leave him alone as he wished. To the rest of us, this was a shocking proposal, but happily we listened and eventually learned something of great value. Actually, our group conscience was at work to construct the most acceptable and effective book possible. Every voice in it was playing its appointed part to create an outcome that was be nothing less than providential. Another short paragraph. Yeah. As the one who had to do the writing, I was caught squarely in the middle of all this arguing. The liberals were the larger group, but they barely outnumbered the combined conservatives and radicals. For a while, it looked as if we would be bogged down into permanent disagreement, despairing of satisfying everyone. I finally asked that I might be able to be the final judge of what the book said. Seeing that we would get nowhere with such a pointed decision, most of the group agreed. We began to carry on again. So they left it to Bill to write. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So, and what I love about the big book is, yeah, it uses the word God, but God is only used so that you know what I'm talking about. That's it. It's the only reason the word's used, so that I don't confuse you as to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God or a deity, but then we bring it up in different forms: the principle, the agent, the Father, and the Son. So, as you can see, and even now in today's AA, we still get together. I mean, Zoom groups were the newest thing, were they not? Yeah. And even then, I hear some people, all those people at Zoom. I don't. Oh, resentments against Zoom. Okay, all right. If that's the route we need to go. The way, you know, AA is supposed to be. It's supposed to be malleable that way. So that means it can fit to whatever occasion it needs to be, because God, because God is everything, and God runs AA. Jesus drives our car. Right? I'm just using that because it's a cool line from a song. God drives our car. Right? But we do it together with my God and your God and their God. And these are all different gods and different beliefs, and we can all get along and live a happy life. Just allow people to be who they are. That's what I got. Thank you everybody for being here. And thank you for the crap giving. I had fun. Yeah. All right. I love you. Peace out and have